On the Tate Plate, it's a week of beans and greens. So here we have a traditional beans and greens meal along with some hot water bread. I definitely wanted to have that, but I also wanted to try some different varieties of things. So I went grocery shopping. And I bought lots of varieties of beans, both canned and dried, varieties of greens, both fresh and frozen, so that I could put together some different things. So the first night is Tuesday, and my son cooks baked potatoes and broccoli on Tuesdays. So I wanted to add Swiss chard and white cannellini beans. I took the large stalks and set those aside for a snack and chopped up the rest of the stalks and water sauteed those with some onions and garlic. And just let those start to get a little soft. And then add a mountain of the greens. I just chop them up a little bit fine, pile those up, add a little water, put the lid on, and let those cook until they're nice and soft. And there we have my smashed up baked potato is under there, piled up with some Swiss chard and white cannellini beans. It was very good, very beautiful meal. And here's what I did with the stalks. I just dipped them in hummus. Now, this would be really beautiful with some other vegetables added in there, but I was just keeping it to the beans and the greens. There's lots of recipes out there for oil-free hummus. I just keep it really simple. I use chickpeas that I had already cooked, add the liquid from the can of the cannellini beans, and season that with liquid aminos and smoked paprika, and whirred that up until it was nice and smooth. This is a pita pocket sandwich that's stuffed with chickpea salad and coleslaw cabbage mix. For my chickpea salad, I keep it really simple. Again, chickpeas that I cooked before, sweet salad cube relish, and a little vegan mayonnaise, and whir that up until it's as smooth or as chunky as you want it to be. Here I'm soaking some Great Northern beans overnight. That's how I soaked all of my beans. I just put them in water, cover them in water, and let them soak overnight. On Wednesday, my other son cooks spaghetti. So I wanted to do an Italian seasoned bean. So I did the Great Northern beans, cooked them, and then added Italian seasoning and boiled all the water off. I chopped up the collards and onions and covered those in water, cooked with the lid on until they're soft. In the oven, I put some split grape tomatoes, onions, and garlic, and seasoned those with Italian seasoning and baked for about 15 minutes. I mixed all that together and served that over spaghetti. It was beautiful. It was delicious. Very good meal. I'll definitely make that again. Next, I'm going to make some spinach and bean patties. So I used the leftover Italian beans, hummus, barbecue sauce, nutritional yeast, onions, and spinach. You could use any combination of anything you want. Mix that up in a food processor until it's pretty fine. And then add the flax egg and some breadcrumbs and mix that up. You just want it to be dry enough to stick together and so that you can shape it into patties. And then bake those. I did 400 for about 20 minutes. Just depends on how brown you want them. And there that is with some barbecue sauce for dipping. I made some salads where I just added beans. So I've got my greens and beans there, using a little barbecue sauce for the dressing. On Thursday, it's my night to make soup. So this was a red beans, kale, and potato soup. Just keep it simple. Flavor the water however you'd like your soup to be flavored. This was a really beautiful snack. It's kale chips and air-fried chickpeas and red beans paired with some blueberries. For the kale chips, there's lots of recipes out there. For the air-fried chickpeas, there's lots of recipes out there. I keep it very simple. I just toss it in the air fryer until they're crisp. Depends on your air fryer for how much time. On Friday, my son cooks yellow rice and black beans. So all I did for this meal was add lettuce. Lettuce is a green, and some pico de gallo, and covered it with some taco sauce. This was a breakfast hash, so I just started with some leftover red beans and onions and cooked potatoes. I just kind of tore those up, you could chop them up nice and neat. And then added some spinach and water saute that until it cooks down. Doesn't take long with spinach. Spinach is a nice way to get in some greens because it doesn't have a real strong flavor. And then I just put that together and added a little barbecue sauce. On Saturday, my daughter cooks. This time she was cooking rice noodles and stir-fry vegetables, so I decided to go with bok choy and tofu as my beans. So I did overcook the bok choy, so it doesn't take long at all. So wait till the last minute on that. Just a few minutes is all that needs. The tofu, I just coated it with some seasoning, chopped it up into little squares, coated it with some seasoning and cornstarch, and then air fried it until it was crispy. I think it took about 20 minutes to get it good and crispy. And then I added everything together for a beautiful plate, put on some Thai chili sauce. Beautiful and very, very good. On Sundays, my husband grills, and normally I would have a plant-based burger or some grilled corn on the cob. But this time I tried a plant-based chicken sandwich and paired that with stir-fried cabbage coleslaw mix and baked beans. So again, just the water saute the cabbage just a few minutes or longer if you want it to be soft. This was a really interesting thing that I wanted to try. It was a baby lima bean arugula salad. So I cooked up the baby limas, chopped and diced everything else. I put an onion, a zucchini, and some peppers in there for color, and then let the beans cook and cool. While those were cooking, I water sauteed some potatoes and peppers and onions and served that together with my lima bean and arugula salad. I didn't really know what type of dressing. I added just a little barbecue sauce just for some flavor, and it was very good. And then our traditional beans and greens meal wrapped up the week. So this was cranberry beans, so they're like a pretty striped bean. They cook to just a light brown bean. They're big beans. They're very good. And then these were frozen turnip greens. Just add them to a pan, add water, and let them cook. Season however you want to season them. And then some water bread, hot water bread. So you just boil the water, add some cornmeal mix, and then fry them like that. I did use a little plant-based butter on that to get them nice and crispy. You could bake it instead if you don't want to use the plant-based butter. But there you go, a week of beans and greens. Lots of varieties. I hope you enjoyed watching.